Okay, so this is part 2 of the workshop on Rubric. So I have the student in Moodle module, and I have just created an assessment number 5, which is going to be an exam, and I'm going to use the rubric. So I have already created the assignment following the normal conventions. So what I'm going to do now is click on Edit Assignment. Again, what I'm going to be looking at is the 4 top tabs. There's Assignment, Settings, Advanced Grading, and more. So I will be using Advanced Grading, but first I want to show you how I indeed tick the box. Remember always to tick the online text box for submission types. But when it came to grade, I set up the grade, but then I chose grading method rubric. Okay, so that's it, the one, rubric. Once you do that, you can then go to the very top, click on advanced grading. And now you have 2 options. One is define new grading from scratch, and the other one is create new grading from a template. So what I'm going to do is one from scratch. The minute you click there, this page opens. You can give your rubric a name. So what I'm going to call it is the name of the module, MASIM, exam 10%, and then I'm just going to call it rubric just for myself to know that this is the new rubric I'm creating. So the next thing, you have a description here, but I don't really know whether that would be too much information for the students, so for now I'm leaving the description clear. And then this is the initial, I suppose, template for your rubric. So what you will do is add a particular heading here, and if you want more headings, you just click on the plus sign, so you can create as many rows as you want. And then you start always with 3 columns, but again, if you want more columns, you can click on the plus sign. Okay, as you can see, the points are already given from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and if you keep adding columns, it will add 5, 6, 7, etc., etc. If you don't want a column, you basically click on the X and say yes. All right. Now, some people like to have the points in descending order so that the top marks happen in the left-hand side and the lesser marks on the right-hand side. That's entirely up to you. But if you wanted to change it, you would click on this sort order of levels. So at the moment I have it in ascending by number of points, but you could click on descending by number of points. If you do that, I suppose you can set up and add whatever points you want in those columns. But I'm going to leave it at ascending by number of points. Another thing that I'm still exploring is what all of these things do. So I don't know yet. At the moment I have created rubrics ticking absolutely every single box. And with your help, in the next coming weeks, I will create different rubrics where perhaps I will not display the rubric description during evaluation and see how that actually looks like from the student's point of view. And then maybe another day I won't tick that box, and so on and so forth. So I will explore this, but for now I'm just going to leave them all ticked. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use an example of the typical exam in the marking scheme from QQI. And what you normally have is this section A for short answer questions, section B for structured questions. They obviously made a mistake in this one. So what I'm going to do is simply just copy section A and bring it to my rubric. And because this is just a heading, what I'm going to do is set the points in each one of those columns to 0. Okay, because all I want is a heading. I don't want to apply any points to this particular section. Okay, so all of them have a 0 mark. In here then I will write down the first answered question, and because there are 10 questions and each one of them is going to be given 1 mark, so I change that to 1 mark just because this exam is worth it 10 points. So I'm going to put 1 mark for each question. So first answered question, if the student does not include it or it is unanswered, I will say they get a 0. But if they have a good answer, say good explanation, they might get a 0.5. Whereas if they get an excellent, and maybe you can use the word thorough, explanation, then the learner will get 1 point. Okay, so that would be the maximum point for that first question. All I would do then is second answered question, and obviously I'm going to have the exact same as this, so all I have to do is copy what's on the top, place it in the next row, the same for here, copy and paste, copy and paste, and of course remember to set the points that you want. So this one is 0.5 and this one is 1. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video and complete the 10 questions and then I'll play it again. Okay, so as you can see, I have finished all the 10 questions there, and then I have copied and pasted the exact same columns. So incorrect or unanswered question is 0 points, good explanation 0.5, and excellent is 1 point. So effectively, when you save this, this is what the student will see, and I actually have to put heading here. The rubric will not complete until you have written something in it. Okay, let's see if I write the word heading there because this particular one is not actually a question itself. Let's see. Perfect. So that's the rubric created for me now. And what we're going to explore in the next video is how the student can see this and how the teacher marks the student using the rubric.